to use a bathroom, it's disgusting. And everybody, no matter how you feel on this issue, should reject it completely. What are they doing? They're doing this so that Nancy Mace can make a buck and send a text and fundraise off an email.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to another video. As you can see in the title and the thumbnail of this clip here, we're going to be talking about the dumbest member of Congress, AOC. So the caption on this clip says, AOC says banning dudes from using women's restroom, quote, endangers all women and girls. So before we get into her stupid little rant right here, I'm going to give you guys some context on why she's pissed off at the moment. Check this clip out real quick.
Confirming that House Democrats have learned nothing after getting shellacked in November 5th election, they're going full steam ahead for biological men to use women's restrooms. But Congresswoman Nancy Mace is trying to put a stop to it. She introduced a new resolution requiring members and staffers to use the bathroom that corresponds with his or her biological sex. I can't believe this even has to be a thing. But the move comes as the first trans member of Congress, Sarah McBride, is set to take office.
Bullying a member of Congress. This is what we're doing? This is the lesson that you've drawn from the election in November? This is your priority, that you want to bully a member of Congress as opposed to welcoming her to join this body?
Of course, as always, legacy media helps Democrats frame the issue as the nice people versus the mean people.
Speaker Johnson has said he wants to treat every new member with the words dignity and respect. Forcing this congressperson to go into a male restroom, is that dignity and respect?
Forcing women to share private spaces with men is not dignity and not respect.
And joining me now, South Carolina Congresswoman Nancy Mace. Congresswoman, great to see you. So as far as dignity and respect go, I'm wondering, Congresswoman, how have you been treated after introducing this resolution?
A very interesting question. So the height of hypocrisy, the height of gaslighting, they're threatening to kill me now because I, as a woman, am standing up to protect other women from men being in our private spaces, our restrooms, bathrooms, locker rooms, changing rooms, you name it. And so now they're threatening to kill me over this. I'm being bullied online. But what they forget is that, Laura, I'm the first woman to graduate from the Citadel, the Military College of South Carolina. I will not be bullied into silence. I will not back down. And in fact, I'm going to double down on this. And I'm going to file even more legislation to protect women beyond the Capitol, across every state in the nation. Because the simple question is, do women have rights or not? It's a very simple question.
Now, Rep-elect Sarah McBride responded to your resolution saying this is a blatant attempt from far right-wing extremists to distract from the fact they have no real solutions to what Americans are facing. We should be focused on bringing down the cost of housing, health care, child care, not manufacturing culture wars. Your response?
This is not manufactured. This is a person who's threatened to come into women's private spaces. And I'm a survivor of rape, sexual violence, and abuse. And I know how deeply vulnerable women are in places where we feel we have a right to privacy. And this is not okay. If you're a biological man, if you're born a man, you use the men's restroom. You don't invade our privacy. You don't come into women's private spaces. This is not a thing. I will die on this hill. It will not happen on my watch. This is a fight worth fighting for. And I'm going to fight to protect every woman in Congress, every staffer, every employee, every woman and girl across the country. They didn't learn anything from November 2 weeks ago. And women's issues were on the ballot, and conservatives are now feminists. It's wild. It's insane that this is even up for debate. It's not up for debate. And
well,
Sarah
one thing, yeah, I'm sorry, but one thing I know the left will say in response to what you just said is, well, it's horrific that you were subjected to any abuse or assault, any of it. But are you intimating that this new congressman-elect would somehow assault you in the bathroom? That would be the argument.
The idea of a man walking into a locker room where I'm changing is actually, it feels like assault. I am a victim. I have PTSD from the trauma that I have endured at the hands of a man. And I'm going to stand in the way solidly of any guy that wants to come into our spaces. And guess what? Sarah McBride doesn't get a say in this. And I'm not gonna succumb or be silenced by bullies online or by the radical left. They lost big. And I'm going to push back harder than ever before.
So you've seen that, right? Straightforward, common sense, very direct. Nancy Mace is just saying that men should not be allowed to use women's restroom. And this is just in Congress. So this is not like a bill that Nancy Mace is trying to pass that's going to be nationwide. This is just in the halls of Congress. And this is happening now, not as a direct attack to Sarah McBride or whatever his name is. It's because this is the first time that this has ever happened, where you have a biological man who's transitioned, quote unquote, into a woman who's just dressing up as one, wanting to use women's restroom in the halls of Congress. This should never happen at all, whether it's Congress or not, right? They should not be in women's restroom, women locker rooms, women's spas, just women private spaces, period. So this should be common sense. But for some reason, these Democrats, especially this woke Democrat AOC, does not seem to understand this simple concept. And they also seem to not understand this is one of the reasons that they got blown out in these elections. It's because of these woke, nonsensical ideologies that they push so hard on the American people. Nobody's falling for this anymore. So she's getting some backlash. We're gonna watch the clip real quick, and then we'll get into some of the comments that were made.
What Nancy Mace and what Speaker Johnson are doing are endangering all women and girls. Because if you ask them, what is your plan on how to enforce this? They won't come up with an answer. And what it inevitably results in are women and girls who are primed for assault because people are going to want to check their private parts in suspecting who is trans and who is cis and who's doing what. And so the idea that Nancy Mace wants little girls and women to drop trow in front of who? An investigator? Who would that be? In order, because she wants to suspect and point fingers at who she thinks is trans, is disgusting. It is disgusting. And frankly, all it does is allow these Republicans to go around and bully any woman who isn't wearing a skirt because they think she might not look woman enough. People have a right to express themselves, to dress how they want, and to be who they are. And if a woman doesn't look woman enough to a Republican, they want to be able to inspect her genitals to use a bathroom. It's disgusting. And everybody, no matter how you feel on this issue, should reject it completely. What are they doing? They're doing this so that Nancy Mace can make a buck and send a text and fundraise off an email. They're not doing this to protect people. They're endangering women. They're endangering girls of all kinds. And everybody should reject it. It's gross. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, so you've seen that. I mean, there's really not much you can say about that, except this was pretty stupid, right? I mean, I don't know where these people get their ideas from and how she believes that banning men from women's restroom endangers women. It really, I don't understand that. It doesn't make any sense to anybody that has any type of common sense. But anyway, she's getting roasted on X here. So this person says, you have to give AOC credit. She has redefined and mastered the hysteria game to such an extent that if you're not paying attention, what she says here sounds like it makes sense. But her argument is moronic. Every member of Congress has their own bathroom, and the building has plenty of gender-neutral bathrooms. Her opposition to this has nothing to do with women and everything to do with the woke mind virus. She masks beautifully by saying disgusting 53 times and pulling distressed faces. Yeah, and what's funny about this person here is that AOC recently just took down her virtue signaling pronouns on her social media profiles. So she used to have she, her, or whatever in her bio. And literally, right after the elections was over, she took down her pronouns from her bio. Right? These people don't believe what they say. They just only act. They're actors, especially AOC. She's the biggest actor in Congress. They just act and pretend to be part of the trendiest thing that's going on in the culture war, and think that they're taking the right side of history or the right side of the argument, when actually in reality it's the exact opposite. Everything that they stand for in their ideas is literally the exact opposite of what majority of the country believes, and it's actually hilarious to witness. So this page says AOC is the highest level of woke virus. She says banning men from women's restroom is endangering girls of all kinds. You see that quote, right? Endangering girls of all kinds. There's no such thing as all kinds of girls. It's just girls. You just have one kind of girls. It's just females. but she says all kinds of girls, trying to include men that are pretending to be girls. That's how nonsensical these people are. This makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. So even on the video from Fox News, where I showed you guys that clip in the beginning, she's also getting roasted on there as well. Somebody says, we voted this BS out. We're over it. Right. Nobody's playing with these people anymore. We're not playing with this nonsense. Somebody says, I don't want a man in my restroom. I don't give a crap who you are. Somebody says, protecting women is a #1 priority. Woke is finished. Somebody says, I have a 16-year-old daughter, and I do not want any boys to share a locker room or bathroom with her. F that. These people are out of their minds. Somebody says, get the men out of women's bathroom now. Somebody says, fake women tries to bully real women. Boom. You have, quote unquote, Sarah McBride, who's actually a man, who's trying to bully his way, technically, his way into women's restrooms by saying, I've transitioned into a woman now. It's crazy. This is crazy times we live in. Somebody says, this is the reason why they lost. 100%, and AOC does not seem to get it. And I keep telling you guys, I said this a long time ago, is that the Democratic Party is done for. They will never recover from this because they don't know how to reflect. They don't know how to reflect and look back and make changes on what was destructive to their party. So because they don't know how to do that, and because now the new generation of leadership in the Democratic Party is people like AOC, people like Jasmine Crockett, all of these woke, virtue signaling, socialist Democrats. So that's the next generation, the leadership of the Democratic Party. And you think they're going to go more center? You think they're going to be more moderate? You think they're going to be a little bit more conservative? No. As you just heard her, she's doubling down on this woke nonsense. They're all doubling down. So you're going to have some Democrats that are trying to push away from this whole identity politics, but you're going to have some other Democrats that are trying to double down. So they're going to infight, right? It's going to be a Democrat civil war, and we've kind of witnessed that a little bit now. So eventually, you're either going to have the more moderate Democrats leave the party or either create their own party or become Republicans, and you're going to have these Democrats now that are led by AOC and all of these woke socialists. They're going to become a more progressive, more left party. The Democratic Party is not going to go more to the center. It is not going to happen unless, because they're going to get rid of Nancy Pelosi and all of them and then replace her with literally like AOC. So if this is who's going to lead the next generation of the Democratic Party, yeah, good luck to you guys. Good freaking luck winning elections moving forward. But anyway, let me know what you guys think. Hope you enjoyed this video. Let's talk about it in the comment section. Hit the like button down below. And of course, if you're brand new to the channel, consider hitting the subscribe button. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.